Imagine walking into a luxury car dealership, money in your pocket, confidence in your stride, only to be denied service. Not because you couldn't afford it, but because of the color of your skin. Now picture that same dealership collapsing into bankruptcy, all because of the man they tried to humiliate. It all started on an ordinary Saturday, the kind where arrogance meets karma head on. The man they mocked wasn't just another customer off the street. He was the silent force keeping their entire empire alive. But they didn't know that yet. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you're watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. Meet David Carter, a self-made black CEO who rose from nothing to become one of the city's most respected business minds. He owned tech firms, real estate, and quietly funded local businesses through his private equity group. He wasn't flashy, no designer suits, no big talk. David believed true power didn't shout, it moved in silence. One of those hidden investments? A sleek downtown luxury dealership, polished marble floors, crystal lighting, champagne for premium buyers, and an owner named Richard, whose ego was even shinier than the cars. He smiled at men in suits and dismissed anyone who didn't look rich enough. What he didn't know was that his biggest investor, the man who kept the place afloat, was the same man he was about to insult. Months earlier, when sales were tanking, Richard had quietly accepted millions from David's firm. The deal went through a shell company, so he never knew whose money saved him. And now, he strutted around the showroom like royalty, sipping espresso and bragging about his success. But arrogance always comes with a bill. One sunny afternoon, David decided to stop by, not as a boss, but as a customer. He arrived dressed casually, clean jeans, polo shirt, white sneakers. Calm, confident. But the moment he stepped in, Richard's fake smile evaporated. "Sir," Richard said, blocking his path, "this isn't the kind of place you can just walk into. Cars here start at $80,000. You might want to try the used lot down the street." "Excuse me?" David stayed calm. "I'm interested in one of the new models," he said evenly. "Could I see the spec sheet?" Richard laughed. That slow, condescending laugh that stings worse than words. "We don't let people like you waste our time. These cars aren't for everyone." Can you believe he actually said that? David just smiled. The kind of quiet smile that means you're about to regret that. He reached for his phone. "All right then," he said. "If that's how you feel, let's handle this another way." Within 20 minutes, two black SUVs rolled into the parking lot. Out stepped men and women in dark suits, David's legal and financial team. The entire showroom froze. Richard blinked, confused. Then one of them approached and said, "Mr. Carter, we came as soon as you called. Would you like us to finalize the withdrawal paperwork now, sir?" You could have heard a pin drop. "Mr. Carter?" a customer whispered. "Wait, he owns this place?" Richard's face went ghost white. "Why, you're the investor?" he stammered. David nodded calmly. "Yes, Richard, I'm the man who's been funding this dealership, but after how you just treated me, I see no reason to continue." Boom. That was it. His kingdom began to crumble. Richard's voice cracked. "Please, it was a misunderstanding. I didn't mean it like that." David didn't even raise an eyebrow. "Respect is something you show everyone, Richard, not just the people you think can afford it." His reps opened their briefcases and laid out documents on the counter. The sound of the locks clicking open echoed like a gavel. Within minutes, the paperwork was signed. David's money, gone. Customers stared, employees whispered, and Richard, he just stood there, watching his own empire dissolve in real time. The story should have ended there, but karma wasn't done yet. Someone had filmed the entire scene. By the next morning, the clip went viral. Racist dealer gets owned by his black investor. It flooded social media. People reposted it, tagged their friends, laughed, cheered. Every frame of Richard's shocked face became a meme. And the comments? Brutal. Guess he finally learned who signs the checks. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. By the end of the week, suppliers pulled out, customers stopped coming, the champagne fridge went from celebration to storage. Richard tried a public apology video, crocodile tears and all, but nobody was buying it. Every time he tried to move on, that clip popped back up again like karma hitting replay. Within months, the once bustling dealership turned into a ghost showroom. Dusty cars, empty offices, and silence where his arrogance used to echo. But David? He wasn't done building. A few months later, a new dealership opened across town, bigger, brighter, more welcoming. The name on the glass doors, Carter Motors. Here, everyone was treated with respect, whether they walked in wearing a suit or sneakers. And guess what? Some of Richard's old employees joined David's team, saying they finally wanted to work for a boss who valued people, not appearances. But the final twist? The new dealership sat just 3 blocks away from Richard's old one. Every morning on his way through town, Richard had to drive past Carter Motors, busy, thriving, alive, while his own empty lot sat behind a faded for sale sign. Can you imagine that drive? Watching the man you once humiliated turn your downfall into his success story? When a reporter asked David if he had anything to say about Richard, he simply replied, "No hard feelings. I just believe in teaching lessons the way life taught me, with consequences." And that quote went viral too, because let's be real, racism isn't just ignorance, it's expensive. And Richard learned that lesson in the costliest way possible. David didn't just win money, he won morals. He showed that real power doesn't need to shout. It just stands tall and lets justice do the talking. So next time someone tries to judge you by your skin, your clothes, or your bank account, remember David Carter, the man who taught an entire city what happens when prejudice messes with purpose. Justice didn't knock on Richard's door, it drove right past it, in a brand new car with Carter Motors on the license plate. And that's why you never underestimate quiet power. If you love this story of karma and justice, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe, because on Voices Unchained, the next story might just leave you speechless.